Okay, so let's start with that one. 4A. Okay, so you may not need to worry about taking a screenshot. I'll send this file to you via WhatsApp too, so you can easily access it. That's fine with you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so x plus 1 over 2 equals 9. That's the question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so the question is for us to solve the following equations. In other words, whatever the unknown is, we need to find them. Now, most people approach questions like this by trying to guess. They throw numbers at X and see if by throwing numbers at X, somehow the answer would come out. But nobody wants to just see the answer. They want to
Mm-hmm.
see your steps. So the first thing we will do is to see how we can take care of this denominator. That's the 2, okay? And I usually say something that whenever we know the opposite of a sign, that is the deal. Once you know the opposite of any sign, you are good. So the sign that's dealing with the 2, between the 2 and x plus 1 is division. So what we will do is we're going to multiply both sides, okay? We're going to
Got you.
multiply both sides by 2, and that will help us take care of the 2 in the denominator, okay? So, sorry, I meant to say both sides by, okay? All right. So multiply both sides by 2. So that's going to leave us with x plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 2 will take itself out, and that's the essence of multiplying both sides by 2. And then on this other side, you have 9 times 2, which is 18. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the simplified expression or equation will now look like this. Sorry, let me take them out. 2 takes itself out. Okay? So the simplified equation will look something like this. X plus 1 over, x plus 1 equals 18. So what do you do next? Now that you have x plus 1 equals 18, what do you think we'll do next?
Would you do -1?
Exactly. We'll do minus 1, and that would be equivalent to taking the 1 to the other side. So that's
Mm-hmm.
going to give us x equals 18 minus 1, which is 17. And that would be your answer. Okay, so this is a quite simple question. But again, it's usually the simple questions that trip you up. So we don't want to be in that shoe. So yeah, that's it. All right, so let's see. You want us to take uh all the ones in that section because they seem to
Um.
all have division somehow. Or
Yeah. Wait.
maybe
Can
we'll
we
just
look at
do
that one that says the one that says the 10m plus
10m.
20
Yes, 10m plus 20. Okay. So
over
that's
15.
is that J? That looks like J, right? 4J. Okay. So that's number 4J. Okay. All right. So 10m plus 20 as a question. Over 15. 10m plus 20 over 15 equals 6. Okay, so you know the drill. The same thing happens. We'll multiply both sides by 15, and that will give us 10m plus 20. Okay, equals
Mhm.
6 times 15. So now let me ask a question. I don't see anyone here that has for instance a denominator on the left hand side like 15 and a denominator on the right hand side like maybe 6/5. But let's say we had that scenario, okay? What you would do is to multiply both sides by the LCM of 15 and 5, okay? But in this case, you don't need to do that. It's just simply 15 because 15 is the only one that's in the denominator. Okay, so 6 times 15 will give us what?
6 times 5. What did you say there? 90.
90, correct. So that's going to give us 90. And then, of course, eventually we'll have to move the 20 to the other side, the same thing that happened to the 1 in that other question, so that it will become 10m equals 90 minus 20. So that's 70, 90 minus 20. And of course, for this one, we have to divide both sides by 10, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that we will have, okay, let's just put equals 70. So we know what we have up there. So if we divide both sides by 10, it tells us that m is going to be equal to 7 because 70 divided by 10 is 7. Because this guy will take itself out, and 70 would, or 10 would do justice to the 70 to make it 7. I don't know. You want to say that the zeros cancel each other, that's still okay. And all we know is that m is equal to 7. Okay. All right. So which one goes next? We just looked at 4G.
Let me do. Now I want to do through in like all the different aspects.
Okay. Okay. So you want us to take one from the
Mhm.
first set. Okay.
But because we're doing the section 4, let's just do one more. Can we do the
Mm.
5x over 4 equals 20?
Okay. 5x. I'm yet to see that one. Oh, 5x over 4. I've seen it. Yeah. All
Equals
right.
20.
So that's, yeah, I've seen it. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so that's 4F. All right. Okay, that's 5x over 4. All right, over 4 equals 20. All right, so we have the same thing we'll do, right? We'll multiply both sides by 4, right? Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll multiply both sides by 4, and it's the same principle. Um, just for us to be able to take out the denominator, because that denominator is kind of standing in our way. And so if I multiply both sides by 4, I have this side being 20 times 4, which is 80, right? And uh, the second to the last step will leave me with 5x equals 80. So what are we going to do next?
Is it minus 5 or add
Yes,
5?
we divide both
Oh,
sides
minus.
by 5.
Always
Exactly.
say you divide it.
Yes, yes, we'll have to divide it. And you know why we're
Oh,
dividing
oh
it, right?
yeah.
We're
Yeah, yeah,
dividing
yeah.
it because, yes, That's the only way we can get rid of the 5. Okay. So 5 in 80 is, let's see, 5 in 8 goes there one time, remainder 3, and 5 in 30 is 6. So that's 16. So that means x is equal to 16. Okay. So there you go. X is equal to 16. Okay. So we should try one from the first set, right? Question 3.
Um.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm looking at the last 3. Those are the ones that look kind of tough,
Which
but
one?
yes, the last 3 for question 3. That's half x plus 3 equals 15, half m minus 7 equals 2, half x, is that supposed to be 1 over 3 or something? Let me get closer.
Wait.
Okay,
Which one is
half m.
number 4?
No, 3. The
Oh.
first
Oh.
set
Oh.
of
Yeah. Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
You seen it?
Yeah. Because they might. I think it's in the. I think there might be a question, just one like that, because it's a normal paper, but in the higher paper, there's questions like that.
Okay. Okay. So we should go for that the last 3, right? M,
Uh,
N, and O.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's take on M. That's 3M. Okay, so I'll scroll up and do 3M. Okay, so I'm writing the exact alphabet for the question so that if you need it for reference, you know exactly where to find the question. So 3M says half x, okay, plus 3, okay, and we're supposed to find what x is, equals 15. Okay, so of course, what we'll do, is to take this guy to this side. Okay, or in other words, we'll subtract 3 from both sides, and that will leave us with half x equals 15 minus 3, which is 12. Let me just write it. 15 minus 3, which equals 12. And then, what do we do to both sides? Can you guess?
Is it times? Oh.
Exactly. Yes, you're right. We'll be multiplying. And you know the reason why we're multiplying is because of the 2 in the denominator. That's the only way we'll be able to get rid of it. So we're going to multiply both sides. Multiply both sides by 2. All right, that's the only way we'll be able to take care of it. So that's going to, if you do that, half times 2 will leave you with 1, and 1 times x is x. And that's on the right-hand side, I have that 12 times 2 is 24, and that
Mm.
leaves me with x equals 24. And that's the answer for that particular question. Okay, so let's see. Let's see the next one. Sorry, 1 minute. I'm trying to unlock my phone, and I think my fingers are wet. What's this series? Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right. So the next one, just beside it says 1 over 4 or 1 over 4m minus 7 equals 2. Okay. That's 3n. Yeah, that looks like 3n. Yeah, okay. 1 over 4m. Okay, so whenever I see questions like this, they are a vivid reminder that X is not the only letter permitted to be an unknown in mathematics. Okay, all the
Okay.
letters of the alphabet, including Greek, the Greek alphabet. Okay, so I'm not too sure now. Hold on. So you have, you know those symbols that you have pi, and pi, the symbol for pi. That symbol is not, it's not, it's a, I think it's a Greek, it's a symbol out of a particular set of alphabet, but it's definitely not the alphabet that we know, A, B, C, D, and all that. So any symbol can represent an unknown. So anytime we have that at the back of our mind, it makes things like this easier. So our job now is to find M. Of course, the same idea that we did for the other one would apply here. So that will leave us adding 7 to both sides. And if you add 7 to both sides, what will be left on the left-hand side is 1 over 4m equals 2 plus 7. And you know why we're adding? Because the sign on 7 is negative. So we have to do the opposite of that. And the opposite of negative, or yeah, minus is addition in this case. So we added both sides. And now, what will we do to find M in this scenario?
Your times the 1/4 by your times one it
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
We'll times both sides by 4, right?
Oh. Yeah.
Okay. So does your teacher usually encourage you guys to write your steps? I usually
Yes.
like writing steps, but then I find that if time is not on my side, it's usually a kind of, I usually try to do a lot of shortcuts, like the one I'm doing here, like what I'm doing here, where I'm saying instead of writing out both sides, I'm writing BS. Okay, so BS is short for both sides, and I think it's helpful. And I want to believe that no matter how strict an examiner is, I mean, whoever it is would understand that, I mean, anybody that's doing their best to finish a math sum would not, you know, um, um, be wasting time trying to write things in full, okay? Like without abbreviations. So you're welcome to adopt my style. But if you have another style that helps you to be fast and still express yourself, it's fine. Okay, so there we go. M is equal to 36. All right, so the last one on that line, because I think we said we'll just explore the last three. The others, well, half of the others or 1/3 of the others look like that one. Is 1/3, and I think that's letter O. So I'll just write it there. 3O. Okay. And 3O says 1/3x. It goes back to the usual unknown being x. Okay. Ah, my phone has locked again. Okay, 1/3x minus 2 equals, is that minus 6? Please confirm.
Let me check.
Okay,
Yes, it's -6.
all right. Okay, so let's see what's up here. Same thing happens here. We'll be adding 2 to both sides. Okay, so that will leave us with 1/3x equals Minus 6 plus 2 will give you what?
Pardon?
Minus 6 plus 2.
-6 + 2 will give you -4.
Exactly. Minus 4. Okay. So what are we going to do to both sides?
You're you're going to multiply 3 back on both sides.
Okay, that's correct. Both sides by. Okay, there you go. So if we do that, we'll be left with x on the left-hand side, right?
Yeah.
And minus 4 times 3, which is what?
Pardon?
Minus 4 times 3 is what?
-12.
Exactly, minus 12. Okay, so we have that x equals minus 12. Okay, so it's just in keeping in line with what I want to call a certain mathematical discipline, okay? It's usually good to write down your each step in detail. It's usually good. So there we go. All right, so which other ones would you like us to take a look at? We've looked at some questions from the first.
Uh, there was this one topic here where it'll be like um what's it called? Like it was like find the perimeter of a field if the length is like 15
Okay,
x
the
or
perimeter of the
something.
what?
So it says like the perimeter it will be like the perimeter of the field is 150 meters and
Okay.
what's it called? Find the width. The width is find the width x
Mhm.
and then the length is like 45 and then it'll be like find the width with x.
Okay. Okay, so that's a question around perimeters, right? Perimeter
Yeah.
of shape. Okay, so usually that field, right, is a rectangular field, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So they just need you to find either the length or the width after they've given you the perimeter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's pretty simple, but it won't be simple if you don't know the formula. Okay, so the first thing you need to establish is the formula. Um, the formula for what do you call it? The perimeter for finding the perimeter of a rectangle. Do you remember it?
Finding a perimeter for a rectangle. Is it add all
Yes.
up?
Okay, we could add all up, but I mean, in this case, we need um, a formula. So do you know the formula?
No.
Okay, all right. Let's see. So first things first, the formula is given by P. Of course, you can guess that P stands for perimeter, equals 2 times length plus width or breadth, anyone you wish, but they're all the same. The B, or the breadth or the width could stand there. Okay, so are you good with this?
Yeah.
You think it's something you remember? It's simple enough, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, I'll share this with you so um, you could reference it when we're done with the class ahead of your test. Okay. So, could you give me the details of the question you said? Uh, they told you the perimeter was 150 meters, right? Something like that.
Uh, yeah,
Okay. And then they also gave you probably the length or the width. Okay, so let's pretend they gave us the length. All right. Let me see. Let me see if I can cook up a question right now. So for this to work, let's see. Um, okay, I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Okay. Okay. So if they give us the length, that the length was 50, okay, 50 meters, okay, and then they now asked us to find the breadth or what you called the width, right?
yeah,
So once you have your parameters lined up like this, all you need to do is to substitute wherever you see them, okay, in the formula. So without much ado, this is what we'll be doing.
yeah.
150, anywhere I see P, I'm going to put 150, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then anywhere I see L, I'm going to put 50, okay? Of course, the 2 is part of the formula, so it just stays there. And what we're looking for is B. So that's it. All right, so there are different ways we could solve this, right? One school of thought could be to expand the brackets by multiplying 2 by 50 and multiplying 2 by B. If that's your school of thought, guess what? We're still going to get the same answer. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
I think I will explore both schools of thought. So the second one says that we should first take care of the 2. So that's the first one I'm going to do. I'll take care of these 2 by doing what? Recognizing that there's a multiplication here. And I'm going to now divide both sides by 2 because of that multiplication. Remember, the opposite
Mm-hmm.
of multiplication is division. So if I divide both sides by 2, I have it that 150 over 2 will be equal to, of course, you can tell what's going to happen there. The 2 will take itself out of the picture on the right-hand side so that this is what we have left, over 2. So this guy takes itself out, overdue to take out. And 2 in 150 will give you what? 2 in 150 will give you what?
2 and 100 divided.
Yes.
Um, 2 into 1, 0. So, chai. Um, I'm not sure. Oh, is it 75?
It is 75. It is. And that's simply because 2 in 15 will give you 7, because 2 times 7 is 14, leaving you with a remainder of 1. Put that 1 in front of the 10. 2 in 10 will give you 5. So that's the whole idea. It's 75. So the next step shows us that 75, you can see how simpler it's looking now. 75 equals 50 plus B. Okay? And you can guess what's going to happen. All you need to do is to subtract 50 from both sides, okay? Because you're looking for B, isn't it? So
Mm-hmm.
that's going to 75 minus 50. And I always like to remind people that the sign on 50 is a positive sign, even though you don't see it, right? This plus sign belongs to B, not 50. But, some people get it mixed up sometimes. So, yeah. So 75 minus 50 is 25. So that's the final answer for B. So I guess this is how this is how those questions usually play out, right? Either you're
Mm,
looking for length or you're looking for width, isn't it?
mm-hmm,
Okay. Of course, who says you can't be told to look for the perimeter, right? You could
mm-hmm.
also be told to look for the perimeter, but for you to do that, they would give you both length and width. Do you get? That kind of question will not be like this one, where they gave you only the where they gave you only the length, and now told you to find the width. But they would also give you the perimeter because, I mean, without that, there's no way you'll be able to find the one. So in the long run, in any question, and I'm talking about any math question, except if you are dealing with simultaneous equations, anytime they are asking you for an unknown, right? One equation demands that only one unknown is available at any given time. Okay, so that's why I said either the length will be unknown, or the width will be unknown, or the perimeter itself will be unknown. Okay, so once we have that settled, we are good. All right. So do you have another question you want us to take a look at?
Um, no, not really.
Okay. So you're comfortable with those other ones, right? The
Yeah, I think, but
okay.
I'll need
Okay,
to
so yeah, you need
revise
to do
like
what?
the format, like I mean the formula for this one.
Okay, which one? The formula for the perimeter?
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Now, interestingly, you know, a square also has its own formula for perimeter, right?
a square.
Yes, yes. A square has its own formula for perimeter, and its own formula is going to be looking not too far from the one for a rectangle, and that's because um, um, it's a square really looks like a rectangle in many ways. It's just that all its sides are equal, right?
Mm-hmm,
Yes, all its sides are equal. So in other words, the perimeter of a square is going to be 4 times the length of one of its sides. Okay, so I'm sure you understand why it's so, right?
mm-hmm.
If you add something to itself 4 times, that's equivalent to multiplying one of those of that thing by 4. So that's is the perimeter for a square. So if you had that kind of scenario, then of course nobody will be telling you